It's far better organized. This new size allows us to package stories better. We're going to label things better. It's going to be better organization. And we've also created what we're calling subsections within the paper and destination pages, and I'll show you some examples of that. So here's what could be a typical front page. This cord's going to reach, but we're going to find out. Okay, it does. Okay, so on a typical front page in America today, other than the Wall Street Journal and New York Times, because those are outliers, you have 4 or 5 stories. If you look at this front page, you have 1, 2 stories, 1, 2, 3 summaries of stories. People hate jumps, they hate continuations. Well, if I didn't do that, we'd have 1 story on the front page. Unless every story is really short. So what we're trying to do is give people the summary of what's inside, and then we'll take them to wherever that is. So you have 1 story, 2 stories, 3, we're calling those summary rails or briefs. That's 3 points of entry, 2 more points of entry for 5, 6, 7 points of entry. Right now we have 5. So we're going to have more points of entry for you on our front page than we have today. When you have a really big story, one of the things we talked about was if something big happens, as editor, I need to have a volume control. I need to be able to help people understand this is really important or not as important. And so when we first designed the pages, our artist had almost every headline that big. And I said, go back, that doesn't work. We can't scream when nothing's happening, because when something is happening, I need to be able to scream louder. So if you had a really big story, this is what your front page could look like. We could also, not even, if it's huge, if it's 9/11, we wouldn't have these. We have banned the banner ad on the front page. We need that space. So the only ad you'll see on the front page is that one. Those Post-its, I'm sure you're all fans of Post-its. And then this is my money question. How many of you hate those half-page foldovers? See, that's my money question. Everybody hates those things, but advertisers say they're very effective. So they're wrong. You can shake your head as well, man. But so those are going to continue. Unfortunately, those will continue. But today's they're called spadias. I know we all call them something different. They're called spadias. Today's spadia goes halfway across the page. The new spadia goes this far across the page. So it'll only be less irritating, but they're going to remain. But if we had 9/11 type news, we would probably use all that space. We'd want to push people inside to all the related content. This little ad is really a challenge for us, but it's important to advertisers, so we couldn't have everything we wanted. So that actually is on, that position is available on every section front if you're in the mood to buy one.